each and every time we talk, it's really a conversation that it makes me think of mindfulness. It makes me think of growth mindset. It makes me think of my overall well-being, the
Sure.
well-being of others.
Yep.
And just like, I just mentioned the former colleague that was in need of help and support
Yeah.
this past weekend. I wonder, what would it be like if there was a space where that person can go inside of responsible well-being, inside of one integration, and say, I need help? How many people would be there to respond? I know you and I both would.
Right.
And I know that the problem with the algorithm making sure that this may not be seen, or it just works out that way, would be overcome, because this is a space that we curate
Mhm.
specifically for people to have access to these types of resources, and us as community leaders. And so I would love to, after this call, give you a tour of those spaces, and
Okay.
then have you kind of ideate on what that would look like as we grow out the one integration and responsible
Yeah. And
vision.
I don't know if you wanted to cover if I should cover this now or later, but I did have that idea. You mentioned, moderating, and yeah, is it okay to share now, or do
Go
you
for
have
it.
some other questions?
Go for it.
All right. So, um, again, a little bit more background about myself. So I've got two daughters. One is 22. She's a senior at the University of Arizona. And the other one is just starting, who's 19, starting Northern Arizona University in January. And she is a teen author, third book that she's writing, currently speaking, but she has Tourette's. And it was diagnosed when she was about 6 years old. The most difficult period of her being was between the ages of 6 to about 14, the uncontrollable motor and vocal tics. And as a result, she had been bullied. No surprise there. Kids just didn't understand, but she is, a person that has gone through these trials and tribulations and challenges in her life, and has, moved above and beyond where she was. And the point that I wanted to make is, again, take the and her central theme of her books is around bullying, because the first book was to help raise awareness for Tourette's, called The Boy Battle. The second book, called The Terrible Bullies, terrible is in quotations, that focuses on these three main characters that fight the new bullies in school. And then the third book that she's writing about is around cyberbullying, vaping, and bulimia, all wrapped up in a football story. But again, the central message again is bullying. And so one of the ideas that I had in terms of where I can partner with One Integration is to provide a platform where I talk about bullying experiences from guests. And rather than just focus on the sports athletes, right? It's like, how did bullying resolve you? Right? I mean, how did it help you define who you are, the character makeup that you have? Because we all have gone through these experiences in life that help harden us, and it would be important to share what these successful people have gone through, and how bullying had been a part of them to help overcome and overachieve their obstacles. But taking that a step further, as I mentioned, one of the things that I had in mind, um, was to moderate these series of podcasts or conversations, as what we're having today, and have a successful author talk about bullying, have a successful CPA talk about bullying, have a successful engineer talk about bullying. It's not just the sports athletes and the people that we see in the media today. It's really, and I hope that whomever chooses to say yes to me, they have the opportunity again to get their message across. It's not just me talking about, oh, bullying is bad or bullying is good and this is what it had done to me. That's not the point, right? Again, we all need help in some form, capacity, whether it's mental, spiritual, or physical. But hopefully, with these shared experiences and commonalities that I would be able to bring out in these quality individuals, a person can take that message and change themselves for the better. So again, this is just the grand vision that I have, Jeff, right?
It's a
And
beautiful
obviously the
vision.
devil's in the details, right? But it's like, okay, how do I get started, right? Who do I, book? And that'll come over time, right? It's just that spark is what I'm thinking about. So,
It's a beautiful vision. It's a beautiful vision. I would say that you're closer to being able to execute, but timing is always perfect. So if it's 2 years from now, or 2 weeks, or 2 months, or whatever the case is, timing is perfect. Um, it's a dream come true for me as well. When I
how
when
so?
I what drove me to build and envision one integration was actually bullying.
Okay.
It was being inside of corporate spaces and and being treated the way that I was in the dark, and having people that I know loved me not be able to say anything. I kind of alluded to it at the beginning of the call. And so, most times I would have these conversations with people. They would say, "Oh yeah, you just need to find another job."
Hmm.
And that is an answer. However, how does that make it better for the next person? At Our Diverse Perspectives, we focus on supporting business owners and entrepreneurs so that communities prosper. To learn more about how we can support you, please visit www.ourdiverseperspectives.com. Sign up for your evaluation today.